Imagine walking into a room, burdened by a feeling you can't quite explain. Something heavy, something dark. A man once entered a therapist's office, his every movement steeped in hesitation. Fear clung to him like a shadow, his voice trembling as he recounted a haunting dream. Night after night, he found himself in a dimly lit corridor, paralyzed by an overwhelming urge to attack a faceless figure standing in his way. The more he fought the impulse, the stronger it grew. And then, the terrifying realization struck. He no longer recognized himself when rage took hold. Desperate to understand what lurked beneath his consciousness, he sought help, hoping to regain control over his own mind. Carl Jung's theory of the shadow offers a key to decoding such inner struggles. Suppressed emotions and unchecked desires don't simply disappear. They retreat into the depths of our psyche, only to surface when we least expect them. Jung famously wrote, "Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in conscious life, the blacker and denser it is." The aspects of ourselves that we deny or reject don't vanish. They wait, building power, ready to erupt in moments of vulnerability. But what if, instead of fearing the shadow, we could learn from it? What if embracing it could lead to self-awareness and transformation? Many people experience sudden flashes of anger, jealousy, or crippling self-doubt, as if possessed by an unseen force. Jung described the shadow as the hidden aspect of our personality, the parts of ourselves we suppress because they don't fit with who we believe we are. A person who prides themselves on being kind, for example, may struggle to admit their potential for cruelty. But denying these qualities doesn't make them disappear. It only forces them into the unconscious, where they gain strength in secrecy. These repressed elements often manifest in surprising ways. Think of the quiet, reserved colleague who suddenly explodes over a minor critique, or the friend who seethes with jealousy when someone else gets attention. These emotional surges are glimpses of the shadow, breaking through the surface of consciousness. The good news? Recognizing these moments gives us a chance to reclaim control. By naming the shadow, acknowledging the beast in the basement, we strip it of its power. Awareness creates choice. Instead of being blindly driven by suppressed urges, we can understand and integrate them, reducing their destructive potential. One of the most deceptive tricks of the shadow is projection. We unconsciously attribute our own rejected qualities to others, often disliking in them what we refuse to acknowledge in ourselves. Have you ever met someone whose arrogance irritated you to no end? It's possible that deep down, you struggle with your own pride, or perhaps extreme moral judgment of others masks unresolved guilt within. Projection serves as a psychological defense, allowing us to disown uncomfortable truths about ourselves. But with self-reflection, we can turn the mirror inward. Rather than blaming the outside world for our emotional reactions, we can ask, what is this situation revealing about me? This shift from unconscious projection to conscious recognition is a vital step in shadow work. When we accept our shadow, we integrate the missing pieces of our psychological puzzle. This doesn't mean indulging in destructive impulses. It means acknowledging them, understanding their roots, and redirecting their energy. Facing the darkness within us doesn't make us worse people. It makes us whole. Jung noted that even positive traits can be buried in the shadow. A person raised to see confidence as arrogance may suppress their ambition. Another who was shamed for being assertive might struggle with passivity. By exploring our shadow, we uncover not just suppressed fears, but hidden strengths as well. The process is both challenging and liberating, leading to deeper self-awareness and personal growth. Jung's model of the psyche reveals that the shadow is just one of many layers shaping our identity. At the surface, we present the persona, our socially acceptable mask, carefully curated to fit societal expectations. Behind it lies the ego, our conscious sense of self. Beneath the ego, the shadow lurks, housing all that we reject or deny. And deeper still, the anima or animus represents the soul's inner counterpart, often influencing relationships and appearing in dreams. This intricate interplay of psychological forces reminds us that self-knowledge is never straightforward. It requires peeling back layers, confronting hidden aspects, and embracing the full spectrum of who we are. Ignoring the shadow can lead to dire consequences. Jung warned that unacknowledged weaknesses don't simply disappear, they fester, accumulating power until they explode. He wrote, "If an inferiority is conscious, one always has a chance to correct it. But if it is repressed, it never gets corrected and is liable to burst forth suddenly. Unchecked anger can poison relationships. Unacknowledged envy can breed resentment. A practical step toward shadow integration is self-reflection. Keeping a journal to track moments of strong emotion can reveal recurring patterns. Dreams, too, provide valuable insights, often portraying the shadow in symbolic form. Exploring these hidden messages offers clarity, turning unconscious chaos into conscious understanding. But the shadow isn't just personal, it exists on a collective level as well. Just as individuals repress uncomfortable truths, societies do the same. Cultural blind spots, historical injustices, and prejudices accumulate in the collective unconscious, influencing group behavior in destructive ways. When suppressed fears and biases go unexamined, they erupt as social conflict, systemic oppression, and mass violence. Jung observed that during times of turmoil, patterns in individual dreams often mirrored broader societal unrest. This highlights a crucial truth. The more people engage in personal shadow work, the more stability they bring to the world around them. Owning one's anger, confronting personal biases, and taking responsibility for internal conflicts reduces the likelihood of projecting them onto others. Healing at the collective level demands truth, reconciliation, and the courage to acknowledge past wrongs. Real change isn't just about public apologies. It requires deep, honest reckoning with the forces shaping history and culture. Each person who embraces this work helps shift the tide, fostering empathy and accountability in their communities. Everyday life offers countless opportunities to recognize and work with the shadow. Sudden emotional triggers, unexplained anxieties, or strong reactions toward others often point to hidden aspects of the self. Instead of dismissing these signals, we can investigate them with curiosity and courage. Jung famously stated, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." By bringing the shadow into the light, we reclaim authorship over our own lives. The journey requires patience, but the rewards are immense. Deeper self-awareness, emotional resilience, and a more authentic existence.